when they are consuming your minds and your thoughts and your dreams, from the angels to the demons and to the mysteries unseen, there is no need to worry. There is no need for dread. It's just time to discuss the thing at the foot of the bed.
Good evening, and if you're just tuning in, you are listening or watching the UFO Paranormal United Public Radio Network, and this is the thing at the foot of the bed. And if you're listening, you could be hearing us on 105.3 FM out of Mississippi and 107.7 out of the beautiful city of New Orleans, Louisiana, and that's actually where we broadcast out of. We'll give Joe Montaldo a huge shout out. He's the one that started this network 25 plus years ago, and he's the one that's created this beautiful space for all of us to come together. So a little bit about myself, if you haven't been here. And once I finish with all the housekeeping, I hand it over to my awesome friend and amazing co-host, David Hanzel. So myself, I'm Lorilei Potvin, and I'm a Canadian psychic medium, crystal Reiki energy healer, Akashic Records practitioner, spiritual teacher and mentor, registered nurse, animal communicator. I still say budding because I'm nowhere near as good as our regular that comes in here, Julie Jean Bassett. And also well-versed in near-death experiences, having had one as a toddler myself and studied them professionally and personally for over 40 years. Well-versed in the paranormal. I always say we didn't go looking for it. It found us. And we've shared part of our story on the Travel Channel's Paranormal Survivors Season 4, Episode 9. So if you guys like what you see, please like, share, and subscribe. There really is something for everybody on this network. I think we're almost up to 40 hosts. We're adding some new shows. I was just talking to our amazing station manager, and their second night of their show is coming up. It's Michelle DeRoche with The Outer Realm. And I know we've got some new hosts coming. So, and her co-host is Amelia Pisano. So make sure you stay tuned after the show tonight to watch their second night. They're on Wednesdays and Thursdays. Where was I going with this now? I was telling you that we've been around for 25 plus years. I have a checklist, but I get rambling and then I get off topic here. So we've been around for 25 plus years. This network does broadcast potentially into every country in the world, right? So if everybody around the world tuned in, they could hear us from no matter where they are. So we do stream 7 days a week, multiple shows daily, live. And when we're not streaming live, the archive server dips into the last 25 plus years and randomly picks shows. So like I say, with the new content, new hosts, new shows, it's not all just UFO and paranormal and things like that. There's really is something for everybody. So what else did I want to tell you? I told you who I am. Oh yeah. So this is where I was going. I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm trying to think, what am I saying? And try just to kind of just settle down. It's been a running round day. 80% of our audience is audio only, which is still great if you want to listen, but the people that are watching can comment. So we'd love to have you join the conversation. If you've watched this show, The Thing at the Foot of the Bed, I also have my own show here on UPRN on Monday nights with the Angel Rock, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. How you can join the conversation, you're going to head to UFO Paranormal and United Public Radio Network, either on Facebook or YouTube. You can stream your stream. You can check out David's stream on his own YouTube channel, The Spirit Experience. I am streaming to my YouTube channel, The Angel Rock with Lorilei Potvin. I'm also streaming on my personal profile on Facebook under Lorilei Potvin. We're on Canada's Most Haunted. We are streaming to Instagram under The Angel Rock right now. If you're listening on the Angel Rock, just so you know, your comments don't come over to the main space where we're streaming to 10 different places right now. But I do check back and forth through the show. And so please don't think we're ignoring you, because if you've been to this show or the Angel Rock, you know, both of them are very audience participative, and we love your questions and comments and things that you guys ask. So that's why we like to for the show. So also Instagram, there's a warning that comes up that says it cuts off after an hour. It hasn't been. So keep your fingers crossed. But just to be safe, if you are listening on Instagram, head over to one of the YouTube channels we mentioned, and that way we'll see you for sure. Same as we've had some problems with Facebook comments that aren't showing up. So if you guys are all, I see most people in the chat right now are on YouTube. If you're on Facebook and you're noticing we're not addressing you or answering your questions or saying hi or anything, more than likely we're not seeing it. So head over to YouTube if you can't get over there. Lastly, what do I want to tell you? Oh, if you want to watch us on TV, you can. We have a TV channel for the network on Roku. You're going to go to the channel store and type it, or you're going to type in the search bar UFO space P as in paranormal. And there's a drop down list where about the third or fourth one down, you're looking for UFO space paranormal and United Public Radio. And that's how you can watch us. Okay, Dave, that was rough me trying to get through that. So take over. Go ahead. And then we'll say
Hey everybody, my name is David Hanzel. I'm a spiritual medium and a channel. I'm also an animal communicator and I guess a coach at times. I don't like to call myself a coach, but we do that at some point. I am also studying near-death experiences, having had one in 2015, and stuff like that. I am also I love the UFOs. I love UFOs and cryptids and all that fun stuff. That's a lot of stuff that I've been studying lately. And I also study a lot of metaphysical things. So we do talk about metaphysical things on here, but I study the metaphysical quite a bit.
we both do.
Yeah, we both do actually. So does Lorilei. And now on this, we'll tell you, for everybody listening, we will play videos on here sometimes during our show. We will try to describe what's being seen on the show. And if you can watch us live, like Lorilei had mentioned earlier. If you can't, please head over to Facebook and join the Thing at the Foot of the Bed with Lorilei Potvin and David Hanzel. That is our private group for you guys. Lorilei is kind enough to go ahead and put all the videos that she shows during this broadcast in the group so you can see them. You can also leave comments. You can also leave stories, ask questions, give us show ideas. And once we get up to about 200 and we're coming real close, Lorilei and I will start doing some private readings live within the group and just talk about some more fun stuff a couple times a month or maybe once a week. We haven't figured that part out yet. But outside of that, welcome everybody. Today's we're probably just going to talk about a whole lot of stuff, and I have something to bring up after Lorilei runs through and says hi to everybody.
You know what else we want to ask them too, if you join the group especially, is Halloween night. We are broadcasting, David and I. So I don't know if we'll have people join us or what, but we want to know what you guys want to do. We're getting into spooky season here. So that's why we're kind of, sort of more sticking to the spooky, because this is why we're in spooky season. So let me say hi to everybody here quickly. Let me check on Instagram too as I'm rambling. Nobody there yet, but that doesn't mean they won't be. So we got Leslie. She was the first one here. Leslie 1266 says hello. Michelle Wilfong. Hi, everyone. Kathy Hanley Little. And I love that she did this. So if you're comfortable with it, please do the following. She says, hi, I'm from Central Florida. The big wind tonight. So anybody who's in some difficult weather, please stay safe.
Yeah. By the way, anybody listening, if you're along the East Coast here in the States, be careful. I know it's really bad, even where I am. And I'm in North Carolina, and it's been terrible all day. We've had tornado warnings and stuff.
Oh, geez.
And stuff like that. So yeah, it's really hitting, and this weekend's going to be really hard. So you know what? If the lights go out, just pretend you're spooky.
Yeah. Well, she let us know where she's from. So if you're comfortable, let us know where you're from. It's nice to see where you guys are all from. And then Kathy Henley Little says, hi, Lorilei and David. Howie Odell. Tips, top hat, evening all. We got to give Howie Odell a shout out. He is also under Ed Odell on Facebook. He is owner of the Riff Nation Network, and he has his own show with the amazing Rhonda Harris as a co-host, The Orion Effect. David and I have been on there a couple times. Howie's a huge supporter of UPRN and many of the shows on here. So we'd like to return the favor because he has some great programs and hosts on their network as well. We got Connie Martins. Hello, Lorilei and David. Let's see, Riff Nation Network, evening all. And Howie Odell says, okay, I came to YouTube, LOL, just to be safe, because that's how I had an inkling last week, Howie, when you said Tanya, and I think you said your sister was here. We didn't see it. And right towards the end of the show, somebody messaged me privately and said, I don't think you can see us. And we couldn't. So I've been warning people all week. And Howie says, woohoo, look who's here. Riff Nation Network in the house. Jackie Lane's here. Let me see if I missed it. Jonathan, hi from Ireland. Jonathan is here. Welcome. I think we
talk about spooky. Ireland and the UK are like my favorite spooky parts of the world.
For sure.
Those are my favorite.
So what do you have to share spooky? Oh, Kelly's here too. She says hi, everyone.
Hi, Kelly. Well, it's spooky, but it's not spooky. There's a new picture I found that's been coming out. I did see it before, and if you guys want to look it up, if I can find it, I'll give it to Lorilei. Oh, I'll post it in the group if I can find it. I can do it myself, actually. I forgot. But it is a picture, I think Dr. Stephen Greer, I don't know if he's the one who put it out or somebody, but it is a picture of a field. And in the field are like several small grays. And you can, and it's like, I mean, some people are going, they're not sure what to make of it. And I get it. I'm the same way. You guys know me. I'm the most skeptical person there is in the entire world. I'm always trying to wow about everything. But it's just, I do it because I want to make sure everything's validated perfectly. But I saw the picture and I understand from anybody who's ever done CE5 contact, where a lot of times they'll get evidence in, or they get weird pictures here and there that come out. But this one it looks good. I think it looks good. I don't know how real it is.
Well, David, if you've got it, you said you can share it in the group, but if you want, send it to me, please, and I'll share it too, so that we can see it.
I'll see if I can't find it while you're talking. If you want to talk for a second, and I'll see if I can find it.
Love the hat. Well, believe it or not, I made this hat. This is a resin piece, and I put it all together. So thank you. This is what you wear when your roots are crazy. Jonathan, spooky. I live on a place called Devil's Glen. It's magic, not demonic. Interesting. I want to hear more about that place. David, you reminded me, somebody sent me this article too that we might be able to show. And it says image released of mysterious object shot down over the Yukon. And it was the Yukon, between the Yukon and Alaska in 2023. And I just sent it to somebody that's very big. Thank you, Howie. Says he loves the hat. Anyways, I sent it to somebody I'm going to be having on the Angel Rock. I'm super excited to have on Tom Dongo, natural born remote viewer. He also talks about dogmen, and he talks about UFOs, and he talks about the paranormal, and super fascinating guy. And I have to thank Julie Dean Bassett because she introduced me to him. I sent it to him and he went, holy cow. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that. He's almost 80 years old. We're really lucky too, guys. He doesn't do shows anymore. And he said yes. And I'm so excited. Like 2 hours is not going to be long enough to pick his brain with all the experiences he's had and stuff. So anyways, it was very weird looking. So when Dave sends me his picture, then I will put it up. Or do you want me to put this one up just to, because I'm just
go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Put up whatever you got.
Okay, give me a sec, guys. Well, I'll see if I can get an image for it. Okay, Yukon. This is reported in CTV. Okay, I don't know how clear they are. How well. Yeah, you can see it here. Hang on. We will show this. I don't know what this thing is. I've never seen anything like it before either. So, unidentified object, share. We'll add it to the stage, I believe. Please don't play the ads. I hate when they do that. Hi, Nicole Thomas Ryan. She says she's here from rainy North Carolina. No, it does not.
Shot down over Yukon last year. So here it is.
Hang on. I'm going to stop playing the video so that it doesn't interrupt. Okay, so let me make this bigger for you guys. You're going to see it in the middle. This is what this thing looks like. Like, what is it? They just declassified it. This is what was shot down. Oh, thank you, Leslie. You should see I am in overdrive mode with creativity because I just realized our paranormal conference is next weekend, not this weekend, next weekend. So Carrie Lynn Shellhorn and I will probably be going live a lot next weekend because I finally get to meet her in person. She's a featured speaker. I will be speaking there as well. I have a merch table. I'm always creating. That's how I connect to spirit. If I don't connect, that's one of my easiest and best ways to do it. So yes, we're going to be there. I'm also joining her tomorrow. We'll call it part 2. She had a little snafu with her guest. And so I'm joining her. Who knows if Michelle DeRoche's hanging around and it works for Carrie Lynn. I can't say what she does on her show. It's her show, Spirit Switchboard, 6 to 8 p.m. on Fridays, Eastern Standard Time. Last week, it was awesome. The 3 of us, we were talking all kinds of spooky, crazy stuff. And so I know I'll be with Carrie Lynn. We'll see what happens. You never know. Also, going to give a shout out while Dave's looking for the picture. Have Father Sean. My brain goes, I cannot believe this. My brain goes blank on him. And I will not forget next week. And I know who he is. I've gotten to know him. Let's see. Father Sean Willington. I want to say Willington, but it's not. I'm going, okay, anytime. Okay, Father Sean, where are we here? Of course, it doesn't want to give it to me. I will find it for you. But he is on Eli Roth's League of Exorcists. He is coming on the Angel Rock next Monday. And you guys, oh my gosh, I am so excited because he's also on just before Carrie Lynn Shellhorn with his show 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow on Friday. He's coming on and I am dying to talk to him about his work and all kinds of spooky stuff. So anyways, what do you guys think this thing is? And Connie says, last week was a great show. Well, thank you. We had lots of fun. And Carrie Lynn always comes up with questions and games and all kinds of fun stuff you guys can play too. So Kathy Henley Little says, too grainy to tell what it is. We're going to post the link. But there isn't much to see, even in the video, Kathy. That's what it looks like. It looks literally like a Pac-Man reversed to me, almost. It's got a little red dot for almost. It does. It's not red.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does. Well, it's really hard to tell, like with UFOs nowadays, or UAPs, whatever people want to call them.
Well, this is what Holly says it is too. So go ahead.
Yeah, because we never know. I mean, a lot of stuff that's UAP. I mean, it could be from outside of this world, but there's a lot of stuff within this world that we don't know about, and maybe people are catching glimpses of. But I'll tell you this. Even if it's from this world, I don't think they would have been able to figure out how to make one or anything like that if it wasn't for some outside help. You know what I'm talking about?
I agree. You guys, I don't know why. I know his last name and I screwed up. Father Sean Whittington. And I know who he is. He's awesome. So I will not forget the pronunciation. I just blanked on that. So Howie says that's a Magna Drive aircraft version of TR-3B. We're going to need a little bit more info on that, Howie, because why would they shoot it down?
Yeah, right? I wonder.
Mm-hmm. Unless maybe it was in airspace that
in the wrong airspace. Yeah, I can't find that picture now. All of a sudden, I'll find it.
No worries, then. You know what? You'll find it when you find it. Everything happens when it's supposed to, and then we'll share it in a group with people.
Yeah, but it's a pretty cool picture. I mean, I enjoyed looking at it because, I mean, the only thing is about pictures is I always say this to people, technology-wise, we can take some really awesome pictures with phones. And some of these pictures that people submit are so grainy. And so, all kinds of weird stuff. Now, this particular photo was taken in the dark in the field with
how recent was it?
I don't know how recent it was. It just started showing up on my stuff, and I don't know why, because I don't know if it was real recent or not recent. Dr. Stephen Greer does have a lot of cool stuff.
I'm gonna see if I can find it.
I know there's even the bombshell UFO claim made by whistleblower. There's all kinds of stuff, through news stations.
I'm looking. So was it in black and white or was it color?
No, it's in color, but you can tell the little dudes are gray, but somebody had blown it up and tried to get some of the pictures that are out there. They've focused in on it so hard that everything, you can see the pixels. And I know a lot of people, when they first seen it, they're like, oh, it's pixelated. I'm like, that's because they were zooming in to everything.
Well, the other thing I think too, Dave, and this just thoughts, but I think that most things that we see that we classify within the paranormal can be very much more either advanced or they know how to manipulate energy. I think that that's one of the reasons why some of the pictures come out like they've been shot with a potato, like the picture's been taken that way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, nothing's showing up.
I think, yeah, it's hard to find. I'll find it again. I saw a guy talked about it on Tickety Talkety, but I went through it to go, is this the one I watched? And when I did, all he did was talk about the photo, and he says, watch the photo. And there's like, he never shows it. I'm like, ugh.
So it's a group of gray aliens in a field?
Yeah, or small grays in a field, Dr. Stephen Greer. You can do it. You can just go on TikTok and look that up. But,
okay, I will for sure.
But as far as UFO goes, I am a strong believer, and it's not even a believer. I always tell people ask me, Dave, do you believe this and do you believe in that? And it's like, no, some stuff I'll say, no, I don't believe in it because I just know it. It's kind of like me in the afterlife. If somebody says, do you believe there's an afterlife? I'm like, no, I know there is, so I'm not worried about it. But there's UFOs and cryptids are another one of those things. Even like when they talk about cryptids, even though I haven't had a eye-to-eye contact with a Bigfoot in the woods where I actually seen him standing there, I still know that he exists somehow. There's a lot of cryptids like that. Ed, I feel, is right. The United States government is known to destroy their own equipment just like other countries, so the technology is not captured or seen. I agree. I would agree with that statement. I mean, I don't know, but I would think, most of the technology we have now to us looks new, but to everybody else, it's like 10 years old. You know what I mean? So,
well, yeah. So I think that that's part of it, right? They can manipulate energy. So same as with Bigfoot and what have you. So I almost think like they manipulate it because you see, if they want you to see them.
Yeah. See, that's a big thing in UFO. And a lot of people, UFO enthusiasts will tell you maybe that some of the stuff we see, it's like not everybody's meant to see it, because some people it just wouldn't be good. There wouldn't be good for us.
I believe it. Yes, I definitely believe
some
it.
people, like, they would freak out. Like, I wouldn't freak out. I wouldn't even care if they were me. And I'm like, I don't care. Just show up. So everybody shuts the heck up, So
there's people that, without getting too off topic here, they get quite zealous about, I'm not knocking religion. You do you, boo, whoever's listening. But just from the things, and we have to be careful what we say on here, being on YouTube, but over the last, say, 4.5, almost 5 years, the insanity that incurred was absolutely monumental. So I can just see if aliens showed up and we got disclosure and they were freely showing themselves on Earth, people would lose their crap. Because you know what the best question somebody said to me? It was Joe Montaldo years ago. And we were having a conversation after my show, The Angel Rock, because it used to be a lot later. It was 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. on Monday nights. And Joe used to produce us. So he always had an hour and a half in between my show and the next. And he asked a great question to me. He goes, Laura, think about it. Maybe a statement, depending on how you take it. He goes, they have been around long before human beings were here, which I truly believe. But the other thing is, he says, if they really wanted to do something to us, they could have done it long ago. And they haven't.
They could have, and they haven't. No. Yeah, exactly.
It's like how he says, like the mall in Florida.
even here, they also did declassifications. In 2017, they started. People... Literally, they had said, yes, we have pictures and we know things are coming here from other places, and they're literally doing stuff in our government about it. But I still have people in the South here. They'll say, do you believe in that? I'm like, well, yes, that's why they're showing it on TV. That's why 30,000, well, not that many, but that's why so many airline pilots are now allowed to just say, I'm going to fill out this report, where they couldn't do that before.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, it is here. It is here. The mall in Florida, I've made my personal belief on that after doing a lot of investigation on that, is that was a total bust. Even the dude with the fake pictures and with his family, I think there's something that came out that everybody owned up to it. That was more of a distraction thing, I think. But
I am not saying it was fake, and I'm not saying it's real, because talking to different people, I'm just keeping an open mind. I wasn't there,
The only reason I'm going to call fake on it is because I know Florida. I'm right next to Florida. And the fact that if that was, I don't think aliens are that stupid that they would go to a mall in Florida and cause havoc.
Hi, Tom Baker. Well, I don't think they went there. Like if, like I say, you know what? Unless you're there, right? And it's
hard to tell. Yeah. And who knows? There could be some big conspiracy cover up.
Well, but what I was going to say, Dave, we know in this day of deep fakes and AI and everything else, like before we could say if it was caught with video, pretty good chance it's probably, especially with older technology. Nowadays, anything's.
I agree. That's the hardest part. People really got the work cut out for them when they're trying to, it was the same thing too with back when I used to do ghost hunting a long time ago, or, investigating. I mean, we would get evidence that was like, oh, this is good evidence. Everybody's going to believe it. We got this picture and we got this EVP. Nobody knew how to do stuff back then. Now, it's like,
Dave. Okay, is this the video? I don't know if it is or not. I was searching while I'm talking to you, and Howie says, absolutely, you're right, Dave. So is that the video you're talking about? I just sent it on Messenger.
Let me see.
I'm not sure if it is or not. It was the first one I saw with little gray aliens, so I could be wrong.
No, that's not the one. But
okay.
Yeah, it looks, they're not glowing and they're not close up. They're literally in a field in the distance. I'll find it and I'll put it in the I'll find it.
I just want to be so cool if we could show it, because we're talking.
I really wish.
Absolutely nothing. That was the first one that came up. I see Dr. Stephen Greer in one of them. And you know what happens the minute we look at stuff, right? Then it seems like all this stuff starts showing up. So Connie asks, so do you think we mistake aliens for angels if they have been here for many, many years? I think that's a really good question.
I mean, you know what? In all honesty, in my opinion, I've heard something like that before. I think sometimes, for a lot of things, I think sometimes when we see different ghosts or different things in the woods, or people claim they saw an angel, we could very well be seeing something extraterrestrial. I mean, why not? Why not? I mean, we can't, that one I can't really count out. I have no invalid thing or any valid thing. I do know that because it wasn't until it was brought to me that a lot of times when people were seeing ghosts, they weren't actually seeing ghosts. Is what they were doing is seeing through the veil and seeing the next dimension and just seeing people walking around. That's another theory, but who knows?
Okay, so my answer is yes, it could be. But I also think that with angels, and once you start feeling into energy, right, is that you start to notice the difference. If you will, not always, but you can. But I think they have a different energy field. But I'm not taking it off the table either, because my other theory is if something has been around longer than human beings, and for eons, we're one tiny little human being. Believe me, they probably have many tricks up their sleeve to mask their energy signature, to do anything they wish. So that's my good or
Yep. And I agree with you. And what you said about energy is actually a super good point, because for somebody like I've been talking to them since, not aliens, to angels, or that realm of that being for a very long time, since I was a little kid, and I talk to them now. You know the energy. So I know the energy, what that feels like. Even when I'm doing readings or anything, I know what energy is coming in. I feel it. It's familiar. It's like a friend. I know their energy. It's like their name. So I guess, but still, I agree with you, Lorilei. We don't know. They've been around before us.
So I see Howie's question, and he's chuckling as he says it, but he says, well, demons very well could be taken as demons. Dave and I have different opinions on this. I'm going to call it potato. But to me, if everything is energy and it can only be transferred from one place to another, including there are many different dimensions, higher above Earth, lower below Earth, and everybody on this planet is not running around thinking love and light, nor are they acting that way. And our words, our thoughts, and our emotions are some of the most powerful forms of energy we have as humans. Never mind, we are manifestors. Everything we have, everything we see has been manifested. people can create these things is part of it. I think it was, let me go down. Tom, you mentioned like Mothman. He said, well, I don't think they're here, but maybe peeking in the Mothman. Is the Mothman a tulpa? Was it created by energy? One of the best examples I always give is Slender Man. That was a creepypasta story. Now we're hearing about encounters, we're seeing video clips, we're seeing pictures, we're seeing all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, I've written and I've made up monsters in my head, and I suppose if enough people read the story, they could somebody might one day go, I think I saw one.
The pictures people draw. Yeah. I sent you one more video. I won't send you any more, but see if it's that one. So Howie says he's going to jump back on his stump. Don't jump on your stump.
No,
you can see here.
That's not it either. I'll see if I can find it. It's just a picture. It's not a video at all.
It's not a video, but this is a picture. I think somebody made a video. But if that's not it, you'll know what it is.
I'll know when I see it. Yeah. So this is how I look at evil, just so you guys know. I'm not saying it's not real, because I'm just saying I don't have a belief in that, but that doesn't mean that just because I don't have a belief doesn't mean it's real. It just means I can't see it. Does that make sense? So, but as far as I look at it this way with energies, like Lorilei had so eloquently stated, everything is energy. Everything is. We're the ones who determine whether that energy is good or bad for us. So we're the ones who put the label on it. Because let's look at, like, say we all have, me and Lorilei both know this guy named Joe. I think Joe is a jerk, okay? I think Joe is the meanest person ever, okay, the way he's presenting himself to me. But Lorilei could go.
We're not talking about you, Joe Montaldo.
We're not talking about you, Joe Montaldo. But Lorilei could go, what do you mean, David? Joe is like the nicest person in the world. He would do anything for anybody. It's two different perspectives of the same energy, and we're going to decide what we call that energy. So when somebody says this is a demon, I've had many people tell me, oh, don't go in there. There's demons in there. And I went in there and I was like, I don't feel that energy. There's something in there, but I don't feel it as that. It's just how we're going to feel it. And like Lorilei also stated, which I believe, this is an invent your own character game that you're in. So if you want to have a life where you're going to have all these encounters with demons and ghosts and eerie things in the night that possess people and do that stuff, dang it, that's what you're going to get. Because,
mind you, with my experience, and you guys have heard my story many times, the dream feels like it happened 10 minutes ago, and I can describe the man, the whole bit, and very creepy, and told me he was a demon, told me his name, told me how to spell it, told me his animal form. I was on a panel a couple months back, and some guy that's been on TV a lot with Bigfoot, I can't remember his name. I don't know if that guy researched me or something, but holy crap, was he coming for me. He came for me that whole show. There's no way you could have had that experience because demons don't tell you their name and blah, blah. Yes, that is in the legend and lore. But again, kind of going back to what you said, Dave, maybe that's how this was supposed to play out, because we've talked about it many times. I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing had I not had those experiences.
Yeah.
So,
and I wouldn't be having anything. Yeah, I wouldn't know anything about paranormal if I hadn't been a very small child having all these paranormal experiences. So I agree with what Howie said up here. Howie said, just because it growled, he's talking about.
Well, we got to go up a bit higher. Let's read Michelle's comment. So Michelle said she felt she had an experience with evil. It growled at her. I don't know if I helped manifest it or not. And then Howie. Hi, Jennifer M. Hang on, I'm going. Howie said, go ahead and read it.
Yeah, and Howie says, and this is how I think. This is how he said it. It's a lot way how my thought process goes. Just because it growled, maybe it's actually defending or warning, just like animals would do, just how I feel at times. And no, that's true. A lot of times ago, I hear a moan or a growl. Really, if there was somebody standing next to us who moaned or growled, we'd just look at them and go, what's your problem, dude? But because it's invisible, it puts fear into us, because you know why? Human beings are afraid of what? The unknown. Anytime something is not known to us, we tend to fear it. But that's how all animals
but it's the same thing as people saying that every time you see something in the paranormal that's a shadow, it's evil.
Yeah, exactly.
No, it isn't always evil. And there's always exceptions to everybody. You could have a group full of 100 people and say 75 of them had similar experiences, so these are the hard and fast rules because the majority had it. Well, it doesn't mean the other 25 aren't going to have a different experience or what have you. But what I do want to add to Michelle, with no disrespect, no judgment, I used to get PO'd when people told me this when we lived in our previous home, though, and I want to be honest with you, is they kept saying the more you talk about this, the more energy basically you're adding to it. So, and it's true. It really, really is. Like, I don't talk. Yeah, I'm living in the paranormal every day with research and what have you, but it's not the same. It's not the same energy that I put into it when I was trying to learn, what is this? Why is it here? We need help. And like, it was like a 20 to 22 hour a day job. I kid you not. And I was talking about it. I was talking to so many people, and it was on and on and on. I put a lot of energy into it. So I basically fed it, if you will. I did, because my words, my thoughts, my emotions were all centered on what the heck was going on there. So, and I love that you did share, maybe I manifested it. I don't think you manifested it, but I think the more we talk about it, the more attention.
Everything. Well, actually, though, she's right in a sense, because everything we talk about, everything we see, and everything we do, we manifest it in some way, shape, or form. That's how thought patterns work. I have to say, I have to go with, where did he go? Tom Baker said something very intelligent that I agree with. Something about, what did you say? Oh, Tom Baker, if you force it, you won't find anything. And if you're talking about just looking for something, if you force what you're trying to see and demand that that's what it is, you're just going to find nothing. It's like, you got to let it unfold and let it happen.
Almost like it flows like water. And I discovered, I've been using my gifts my whole life. I know that, looking back on my life, but I remember being in that space many years ago asking, when am I going to open my third eye? What are my guides' names? What are my angels' names? And then you'd be in a class or whatever, and everybody's having an experience, and it's so profound. And, you know, every now and then nothing would happen. It always happens for someone in the classroom, myself included. And then the more I wanted it, the more evasive it seemed. So you just put the time and the work in, the meditation, working on your own energy. I think like attracts like energy. I used to hear, you got to raise your vibration. I used to hate that saying. I used to say, what what is this?
Yeah.
But it's true. So, you know, if we're going to be dealing with high vibrational beings, when we work on our vibration, we work on healing. If we've had trauma, if we've had issues in the past, and, practice of gratitude, there's so many things that help raise your vibration. And the more, you still have to put the work in, is where I'm going with this, but you can't force it. Exactly. Tom said it.
And Tom said too, the shadows, the dark, in some sense, it's your friend. I freaking agree with you, because do you want to hear something? And
thanks, Robert. Howie's brother.
Okay, now this happened to me. This I talk about belief systems. It all depends on what you were brought up to believe. And I always tell people, go through your belief systems and find out which one still makes sense to you. When I was a very little boy, a woman said to me one time, and I was in the woods. We were in the woods, and when I was a little kid, I was very.
I want to address this comment. That's why I'm hiding.
And she said, and they said to me, the shadows in the woods. They said the shadows in the woods, they used to go, is God watching you? Or to break it up into better terms nowadays, the shadows in the woods were all beings that were there to protect me and watch me. So I grew up with that belief. So since I grew up with that belief, what am I automatically going to think of when I see a shadow in the woods? It doesn't scare me. Because my belief system is that. Kind of like when you grow up and people said, cotton candy is delicious, and that's your belief system, maybe. And so cotton candy is always going to be like that. So it depends on the belief systems. I think grew up with belief systems are strong.
I don't know, Dave. I've met people that say they love eggs and they're delicious. My mother, when she was pregnant with me.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that's her perspective.
I'm 59. Okay. When my mother said, when she was pregnant with me, she said she couldn't even look, smell, or even go near an egg. And I said, yeah, that's because it was me on the inside yanking on the little cord going, don't send that crap down here. And I've never been able to eat them. So I think it's about perspective.
No, that's what I'm saying. You missed it. The belief system is your perspective.
No, but I'm talking about if some people, they'll be told that candy floss or fairy floss or whatever people call it is delicious. And they may try it and go, oh, I don't know what you see in this. It's disgusting. So that's what I'm saying.
Look how we're afraid of different people nowadays. Don't talk to that person who looks like that because that's evil.
Yeah, that's where what I was trying to say. So it's a preconceived notion. So, and we hear this from people, right? Yeah, exactly what you said. Yeah, we don't want to talk to that person. They're
exactly
awful.
That's the belief system. Yeah,
so
but we do that. But we do that with the paranormal.
No, but you have to wipe the slate and go in as if you've not had the experience and be open to the experience, because if you go in with a preconceived notion that someone's really awful, you're probably, even if you had a great first experience, it's going to be in the back of your mind going, there's got to be something awful about this person.
I could not agree more. It's even in the paranormal world. When I go, see, that's what I do, just what you said. When I go, if I went on an investigation, I did not go in going, there's this, and that here because they said that. I went in, like you said, with that no preconceived notion of just what did I feel. Sometimes I'd walk in and go, I don't like how it feels in here. And nobody told me anything. So because I didn't like how it felt in there, then obviously I'm picking up something that's, that's not pleasant to me. But yeah, it's the same thing. We're told that even in the paranormal, this house is dangerous. This one has this happened in this house and this happened in this house. And that's our perception now and belief system. So I try not to. I think
we all do in the field that we're working in, that you really have to try and go in with an open mind, a clean slate, because especially as working as psychics and mediums, and especially while we're developing that gift, and I think everybody has the ability to do this, I do, but it takes work for some people hang on to it their whole lives. But the thing is, if we go in with a preconceived notion about something, and we're not open-minded with a clean slate, or we believe something ahead of time, say going into a reading, whatever it may be, then it's very hard to tell the difference between ego and what we're perceiving. Like, what, Dave, you've said it many times, as I have, when we do readings, don't tell me anything. Like,
don't tell me anything.
Why are you coming? That's all I need to know. And people sometimes want to send you a whole history. It's like, don't tell me. The least I know, the better, because then I know what I'm getting is coming from spirit. It's that connection. It's not something else jumping in from my, my mind or the ego adding something. So,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're just like that. Don't tell me anything. I don't want, because like I said, we got to remember we're spirits having a human experience. So we've got the whole human brain going on. We don't have the human brain outside of here. We don't have the human ego outside of here. So I
was trying to have this conversation. I'm going to address Connie's comment in just a sec. So I was having this conversation with my son that has severe autism, Justin. I mentioned him many times. And he comes up to me today and he goes, have you ever heard of reticons? I go, what? And sometimes he's a little hard to understand. And I said, what? And he told me again. David he usually pops in after the show. He's got to make sure it's over, right, Dave? I don't know why. And then he has a good chat with Dave. Anyways, I go, can you spell it for me? So he spelled it. And I said, I don't think so, but explain it to me. So he was trying to tell me about people that have had experiences and their memories are wiped. And how does that happen? And like, you sometimes wonder what goes on in that guy's head sometimes. I love it that he's able to express it. So I was trying to, on his level, explain that what we think with our mind, that we think runs everything, really doesn't. And I called it the subconscious for him. I said, that's another part of you that is always there. And then I got into a conversation. I was surprised he was even interested. I was, without getting too technical with him, was trying to explain to him that there are tools we can use, like hypnosis and stuff. But my whole thing is having this conversation around all this convoluted stuff. And you wonder why you eat, breathe, and sleep it sometimes, right?
Yeah.
Because I wanted to add with Michelle, and she said, sorry, I want to go up a little bit. Where am I going? Now I'm missing it here. She said something to the effect that she's still learning, I think. I just missed it. Let me go back a little bit here. I'm still learning, 3 years enlightened. There was another comment she had here that was a really good one. But what I wanted to add to Michelle, and you know what, and I'm not going to give too much away, but if we live in a place like an apartment building, for example, too, there's a lot of energy coming from a lot of different floors and a lot of different places, as well as previous people that live there too. So you probably aren't just manifesting something, is what the way I read it. It's coming in from all over the place because you're sharing space with a lot of people.
The more you're open to everything, the more you're going to just start feeling energies. Not everybody can feel energies. Like my mom can't, she wouldn't know walking in. Well, she'd know it goes because we grew up with that stuff. But otherwise, yeah, she doesn't know the difference between this, that, and some people don't. But if you do like work that I do or Lorilei does or even Howie or most of the people who are watching right now, if you're anything like us, you kind of trained yourself to feel the subtleties.
Okay, but hold that thought. We're not so special that we, when we say train yourself to feel that thought, I believe we all can do this, but some of us can get it. So we've just trained ourselves in. And some of the things we mentioned earlier, we're not supposed to get all spiritual on you, but you guys know you love to talk about it. And guess what? We love to talk about it with you too. But the thing is, you can get in touch with it again. But I wanted to comment on this with Connie Martin said that some people say they work with demons. And it's kind of like where we were talking about with potato. So are they connecting with something from a lower dimension? Or whatever you want to call it. Yes, I know people that work with both, that walk the line in the middle, that work with some that are said to be a little bit more evil, different deities, different types of things. I think it's all about the experience and what works for you as an individual, right? I always say it's not my job to judge, but being a human being, we all do. But if
everybody's called to do something. Yeah. I don't, even though if I don't believe in something, I don't tell somebody that they're wrong for doing it, because
I had a guy on my show, Curtis, I'm trying to remember his name. And he had contacted me after our Paranormal Survivor episode. This is years ago. We just moved in, so probably 5 years ago in this place almost. And I knew from him talking to me, he gave me 3 names. And he said, I'm picking up that it's one of these 3 that contacted you in your dream and gave it the name. He was the only person in all the years that show's been out there that got the name, and I was intrigued. And I was afraid to talk to somebody like that because he told me he worked with demons. Nice. And I had a 3-hour conversation with him. I asked him a lot of questions that I wanted to ask him. I think it gave him some food for thought. I can tell you when he was on, people were going, you need to be teaching at the university, like the stuff he was saying. And this guy had come from a very religious background. He had gone to seminary school. He had worked within Luciferianism for a while. And he had a really interesting concept. And I kept saying to him, if this had been 5-10 years ago, I wouldn't even have had this conversation with you. But being more open-minded, and I think we can always learn from people, regardless of what he wanted to call it. Now, would I be doing what he's doing? Probably not. But no. If it's working for him, he's not hurting anybody. He's not hurting himself, and whatever he wants to call it. And it was very intriguing to hear what he had to say.
Yeah, it depends. Certain people too, even like paranormal people, spiritual people, and all that. We all work in a separate place. There's literally 2 worlds. There's a separation. There's physical existence and there's non-physical existence. Mm-hmm. I don't work with anything within the physical existence. So that's why I don't see certain things, or I don't believe in certain things, because they exist in the physical part. And so I don't work with that stuff. So that's why I don't see it. But it doesn't mean that it doesn't exist.
Mm-hmm. It just means I never went looking for the stuff with the experience we had. And my partner was thrown 15 feet across the kitchen. I took pictures of everything because I kept thinking, my God, nobody is ever going to believe me. Like, they're never, ever going to believe me. And I was looking for answers. I will tell you what I realized towards the end before we moved and we left that house is it had to come from within us to come through. And whether it was energetically raise the vibration or whatever it was, it made for a good story. I'll tell you that. And I still have weird things that happen. But look at what the field that you work in. When you're working with, sometimes there are ground spirits. Sometimes usually we connect with people that have crossed over.
We have to take it with a grain of salt. I mean, everything is. Hi, Julie Jean Bassett.
I got to give her a shout out. I always do. You guys check her out. She's helped me out so many times with my animals. She really, really has. She's an incredible animal communicator. I've taken her animal communication course. She's also a phenomenal healer and shamanic practitioner. I have had a session with her that was life-changing, and we've been talking about it as we get into October. I am planning on booking another one. So check her out at juliejeanbassett.com. She is amazing. I always love to give her a shout out.
Howie Odell also says where I do working within science. Agreed, Dave. I also love that aspect, and it's we're getting there. Science and the spiritual field are coming together a little bit. Quantum physics has, which is wonderful because spiritual people, that's a lot of the quantum stuff we do is based off quantum physics, is based off, which is a whole big long thing to talk about, which we won't. But Lorilei works in quantum physics. I work in quantum, in a way. I mean, we're not physicists in a university, but I mean, as far as spiritual,
took a lot of science courses, but physics was not my favorite.
Yeah, which is so funny. And numbers, I am like the worst math person, and I will tell you, the entire universe.
Numbers don't lie, and numbers do come up in our field of work with numerology. You can get into gematria, you can get into all kinds of stuff. It's crazy. Julie says I have a beginner's. I'm going to go back to Tom's comment. Julie says I have a beginner's animal communication course, our class coming up this weekend. She's so excited to be sharing all she knows about animal communication. Julie, do you have, if you still have room or whatever, feel free to post the address if people can still sign up. Anybody that's thinking about getting into animal communication, I would wholeheartedly.
You can post it. You can post it in our group as well, Julie.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I'm glad you mentioned it, Julie. So Tom Baker says, and welcome, Tom. I know we said hi, but thank you. I think it's the first time we've seen your comments. So thank you so much. Right. You say, Tom, my mom had uncanny events, but my dad didn't believe in anything. 15 years ago on holiday, both witnessed it. And he has changed his mind since. And I noticed that there are people that, again, are not looking for an experience, have never really had weird and strange, and then they move into a new house and, never believed in this kind of stuff, and after their experiences definitely believe in it now. So I hear you. Should I show that funny video, Dave, the one I told you about? Oh wait,
Howie says
I just saw that.
Okay, I want to know, math is worse for me, but for some reason I understand quantum and physics, but math is my worst. Makes no sense. It doesn't make any sense, does it? It makes absolutely zero sense because I understand the quantum field. I get it, but tell me, divide this and X equals Y, P, and I will go get out of my house. Leave. I don't want to hear it. I don't understand it.
There's a group of ladies and I that we work with people over on the other side, and we usually get together every 2 weeks or so, and it's too much to get into, but my whole point is one of them is a very famous scientist who was a major into physics, and so when he's channeling something through one of the mediums that works with us in particular, I get stuff too, but particular in the beginning, especially, she would be starting to relay what she was being told. And I remember there was one time he was relaying something and it was starting out kind of like what you said, if X is this on this Y and axis, and all of us went, whoa. Nope, that's not going to work, dude. Or I think it was the theory of relativity. And it's like, nope, you got to figure out a different way to tell us, because that's
different way. Whenever I ask AI to explain something to me, when I have a question about something, I would say, explain it to me as if I'm 5, please. I do it every time. And it's explained politics to me as if I was 5, religion as if I was 5. It's hilarious. Do that sometime when you're playing with AI. Just add at the end of your question, explain it to me as if I'm 5.
Yeah, that's a good idea, actually.
I do it all the time because that's what I do. That's why I tell people when I do like my TikToks and I explain things when people ask questions, and I always go, you explain that so easy. And I'm like, that's because Spirit knows I have like the brain of a 10-year-old. I'm like, I mean, I just get it like that. I just explain it the easy way. I hate all the buzzwords and the, the big words. It's like, just explain it and call it a day,
I just realized we're at the top of the hour. We're a little bit past. So if you're just tuning in, you're listening to The Thing at the Foot of the Bed with myself, Lorilei Potvin, and my amazing co-host and good friend and awesome medium, David Hanzel. And you're listening to us on 105.3 FM out of Mississippi and 107.7 out of the beautiful city of New Orleans, Louisiana. And but I wanted to add, I'm over on Instagram. I hope you're still there, Karen. And I hope I say this properly. Karen Majidi joined in. And if the feed does cut off, Karen, because sometimes it only goes for an hour, sometimes it lets us squeak in for the full 2 hours, please feel free, or anybody else listening, if you want to join the conversation, you can go to Facebook or YouTube under UFO Paranormal and United Public Radio Network, or you can go to David's YouTube channel, which is The Spirit Experience. He's also streaming to his Facebook profile too. I forgot to add that. And you can go to the Angel Rock with Lorilei Potvin on YouTube. And it seems to work the best because Facebook's been missing some comments and all kinds of weird little things. And then you can join the conversation. We got a great group of people here, as you can tell. And Leslie goes, time is flying. Believe me, Leslie, I must say it 10 times a day. Now, Tom Baker, you say, in looking back, I don't understand people who say they never had an uncanny event encounter. Anyway, and you said, I think they probably did have uncanny events, didn't recognize it or ignored it. That's possible.
Yeah, I agree with you. The old thing is, and this isn't.
Let me add one more thing. What I was going to say is, maybe you're having, in this particular incarnation, somebody that's never had an experience like that. They just want to come here and have an easy, peaceful life and basically go to work for a 9-to-5 job, do whatever, and just that's it. They didn't put it into their experience.
Yeah, you can actually have an experience like that. I mean, that's true. Either they just ignored it, they didn't see it, they weren't meant to see it or something. But I agree with you. I think there is something that goes on with everybody at some point. But like I said, back to our belief systems and all that, or what we're actually thinking or wanting to do, like Lorilei said, that might not be in our program.
I don't believe everybody's had an uncanny, because maybe in their book,
I think a lot of people have, because we've had them before. I've been with other people. I said, you did not notice that. No, they'll make up an excuse for it because they don't want to.
I have met people, especially as working as a nurse, especially out in the community and stuff. And you don't always get on a deep level with people with conversation, but even people you work with, not everybody's had something that, it's kind of like when we use the word normal, and my normal is not the same as your normal, as their normal, as their normal. It could just be normal to them. They could maybe not have seen it. They could have chose to ignore it. Or like attracts like energy. Maybe they just didn't build that type of experience. No, I'm not saying that would be what we would consider to be the norm. Because I agree, the longer you live on this planet, there's no way that you can't have had some kind of weird, strange experience, or at least seen it with everybody having a camera these days.
Yeah, I've had some people, like what Howie and Tom were just talking about. Sometimes they don't know, and that is a good point. And I'm going to tell you my proof how that is true. I have done many, many mediumship readings where people came through and we're having our regular thing, and the people I'm talking to, the sitter, will say to me, hey, how come they never send me signs? And I'm like, and I'm talking to them going, they do all the time. They go, what kind of signs do they send me? And I'll ask them, I'm like, what are you sending them? Because they're not seeing them. And they'll tell me, and I'll start telling them all these things. And they'll be like, oh my gosh, that's them. I'm like, yes, that's them. They just overlooked it. So just what you guys were saying. Yeah,
but there are
saying,
people that, like you say, Dave, you've never really had, because have you got an interest in having an experience with something dark or negative?
Yeah, so I'm not going to have it. Yeah.
Yeah, so like attracts like energy. And again, some people, like David gave a perfect example there. And I've run into it. Many of us have, that do not just even mediumship. It could be people trying to connect with their guides. It could be anything. Yeah. And when they're working with someone that's connecting, such as myself or Dave or someone else, and then you share it with them and they go, oh my gosh, that's them, or it's that easy, or it's that like whatever, right? So it's just really I think being able to tune into it, being open-minded, and really looking around and not thinking outside the box, but really being open to thinking like there is no box.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, exactly. I'm Baker. Me and you think a lot alike. That was a really good comment. He said, I think I'm not surprised. It's a big factor. Yes, I'm not in fear of something. I'm more surprised by something. I think that's the difference when something happens to me. It's like I don't get a shiver down me. I'm more surprised.
I don't anymore either. Like I was going through, I have to put my videos and pictures together for my talk I'm doing next week. And I started going through and I was looking at, say, some of the ufology videos I've caught around my place. And I'm realizing, and again, my son was outside in one of them. And I'm going, what do you think it is? And we're talking about it, and this light's moving all over the place. But I remember a good friend of mine, Augie Noss, many years ago, saying he has something called the Mastermind Connection, open to anybody that signs up on Sundays, and do some incredible things. There's usually teaching. Sometimes they try to connect to ET, all kinds of things. But I remember him saying, how many people never, ever, ever look up, right? They don't. Yeah. Or the other thing is people think that the only time activity or paranormal things or spooky things happen is at 3 a.m. Yep. Yes, there seems to be serendipitous, if you will. I'm not going to say coincidences, but people do seem to see things, but it's practically 3 a.m. somewhere around the world. Okay. The other thing is people tend to have a false sense of security in daylight. There's traffic going by, there's noise, there's everything. I guarantee you there is just as much paranormal stuff going on in the daytime as at nighttime, but people either are too preoccupied. But when you're laying at home, say at 3 a.m. or you're going on an investigation and all is quiet, you hear every creak, every noise. If it's dark and you maybe have a wee bit of light, you're going to see every shadow. You're going to see it and you're focused on it, right?
Yeah. Or if something surprises you, can get spooked. I spooked myself last night and it was nothing. But I woke up. I went to bed early last night. I don't know what I've been so tired. Long story. But anyway, I think I woke up. It was about 4 o'clock. I woke up. I was really thirsty. I got up. I grabbed a drink of water. I always keep water in my.
I almost burnt my house down last night.
You did not. Oh, well, tell us that. We want to hear about that. It was the ghost. He was trying to do it. You were possessed by it.
I could not. I've been having a hard time sleeping, which isn't unusual for me. And I kept tossing and turning. Now, I know if I eat something with sugar, I have never figured it out, even being a nurse. But if I eat something with sugar, I will. It's like I've taken some kind of medication to help me sleep. So I figured, maybe it was 6 a.m. I thought, you know what? I'll go make some cinnamon toast. Got a little bit of sugar on it. That'll make me fall asleep. So I put it into the toaster, and as it popped up, the toast was too large for the toaster, and it was kind of dark. I don't like burnt toast, but I thought I'll turn it over and I'll run outside for my quick fresh air breaks that I take. Lo and behold, 4 minutes later, my son Justin is terrified, going, "Mom, the house is on fire!" I come in, whole kitchen is completely full of smoke. What had happened, I even turned the toaster down. It only should have been in there for 10 seconds, okay? It got caught on the side of the toaster, and indeed, it was not flaming, but oh my gosh, the house still smells like it. But I kept saying poor Justin was just terrified, and the alarm's going off. I said, well, at least we know the new smoke alarms work, because it's going, fire, ooh, ooh, and then the alarm's going off, and it won't stop. Like, it was the craziest thing. And of course, my partner Della is swearing at me, but I almost thought, dude, you didn't wake up like until I was in the house turning everything on to get the fan off. That's a little spooky considering. So I almost burnt my house down, not on purpose, but I've never had something like that happen before. So there you go. That's what happened. Wasn't a ghost. It was me. Oh, Dave, did you freeze or did I? You guys will have to let us know who froze. Maybe Dave? Let me know if you guys can still see us, because I'm talking away and I didn't hear anything out of Dave. And then I realized either I'm talking to, here, I'll check and see. Kelly shared something that's cool. It might be Dave, because they got some weather over there. Let me check on YouTube, you guys, and I'll see if who's frozen or what. Hopefully both of us aren't. Dave froze too. Okay, thanks, guys. I see. Yeah, we're still live. Yes. So Dave, oh no, he got kicked out. Let's hope he's okay. So he'll either message me on Messenger. I'll make sure I have 3 or 4 devices. I have 3 actually, but I have a 4th too, because especially with producing, if something goes wrong, like I got to be ready to be right on my game. Thanks, Julie. I appreciate that. Poor Dave. I hope the weather's not too bad. Maybe I'll message him, you guys, and make sure. Well, actually, I can message him on here. I'll show you guys maybe this weird YouTube, or not YouTube. It was a video of Bigfoot that came up in my feed today. I'm just going to say everything okay. So we'd love to have some ideas from you guys about what do you guys want to talk about Halloween night. Do you guys want to, I don't know, I'll talk to Dave about it. Maybe we'll get you guys to come on, and depends. I don't know. There may be people from the network that might join us. I don't know. We'll have to see. But what are some ideas you guys want to do for Halloween? Do you want to try some spirit communication? Do you guys want to, I mean, we don't usually do readings. Could maybe do a few readings. I got to ask Dave this. So I'm just throwing ideas out. I don't make all the decisions. So I will ask him and see what he's up to. Maybe his power died on him, you guys. I'm wondering if that happened. That must have been it. And then knocked his Wi-Fi out, because he would have answered me back right away. I just said, is everything okay? So hang on. This is the video that came up. And I know where it was. It was on TikTok. So just give me a minute. I'm going to open it up. And pause this. When it came up, and it's from Canadian Paranormal something. I wasn't looking for them. It just came up. You said I would love to hear how you celebrate usually. Well, sometimes, like I last year put together, usually it's me if we have a party on the network, it seems. We had a whole paranormal Halloween party last year because we ended up taking Sean Kelly's agreed. It was during his show time to have a network party. So I'm trying to see. I think, the storm knocked out the internet. Oh no. So I'm going to say, if you can come back on, great. I'm going to say, oh no, give me a sec, guys. I'm multitasking here. Oh no. He's messaging me back. Yeah, I figured it might be the storm. Oh, he sent me a voice message that I can't listen to because I'm on air right now. Anyways, so well, like I say, Kathy, I won't promise readings and spirit communication. I'm just throwing it out there. I'm sure Dave will say yes, but if he doesn't, but I don't know. Like, I got to talk to Dave about it. We still got a month, right? We might just put together an invitation and invite anybody that's a host that wants to join us for the 2 hours to come on, because Michelle and Amelia's show is after us. So I'd have to ask Michelle and Amelia, like, I don't know. We'll just have to see, but it was a lot of fun. Julie Jean Bassett says there's a tropical storm going through my area right now, and he's probably been affected too. He probably is, Julie. I know we talked about it before you were on here. Oh, how you guys are doing Rocky Horror. How cool is that? I have my Halloween from New Apple Band. I have my Ghostbuster shirt on. I figured it out, Howie. Don't worry. Oh, Dave's back, and I'm yapping away here. David, I am so sorry.
That's okay. I just got back. I heard a big bang outside, and then everything went.
I was just going to play the Bigfoot video, and I was talking about Halloween night. No, I still haven't talked to Michelle, our station manager, and their show's right after us, but I'm asking people, what do you want to do? Like I said, I needed to ask you. I don't make decisions, but I said, maybe we can do a few readings and spirit communications. There's lots of things. So I said, maybe people from the network will join us too. That could happen as well. So and then Howie said they're doing Rocky Horror. Everybody's saying, welcome back.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. Just all of a sudden went.
I knew, because I kept saying, okay, Dave, are you here? Dave, because I just told that story. And then I realized you weren't moving. So people told me it was, you had been knocked out, and that's what I said. It's probably the storm. So, and Tom Baker's saying, since you're talking about storms, I think with a lot of electricity in the air, the connection with the paranormal is more open, is closer. 100%.
In Haunted Journeys, I think it's called, if you look them up, I wrote an article about spirit in water and the connection between spirit and water. It's on my website too, if anybody wants to read it. You don't have to book anything with me. Go to theywhispertome.com and go to my articles, and there's one on spirit and water. I've got one on reincarnation, all that.
No, but I think what he's talking about too, Leslie said, welcome back. Like, I know I've seen it with people that are investigating, that if a real electrical storm is coming in, and especially at this time of year, it's been notorious, and I believe this, that the veil is very thin at this time of year, coupled with extra electrical activity, that you're usually going to get some really active activity.
I was always excited when I went on investigations and there was water near the home or the place.
Yeah, water too. Water will definitely as well. Ley lines too will do the same. Kasoon, hello there. I know it's middle of the night practically, or early morning over in Sri Lanka, but welcome.
Hi, Kasoon.
So people are still throwing in their comments, because I was going to play that crazy, it's not that long, and I'll explain it when I play it with the Bigfoot I was telling you about before we went live.
Play that.
Okay, so Nicole, just I'll read these two things. So Nicole says, spirit box type, where audience ask answers and questions, and we can all try out the apps and see if we get the same answers. I like that for an idea for Halloween night. Kelly says, do it all. My kids are done trick-or-treating after 2 blocks. Mama needs something spooky. LOL. Right on. And then, yes, Tom's saying exactly what you're saying too, Dave. Like you say, water and rain. And Kasoon's going to make some coffee. You go ahead. I just am marveling that, I think, what is it, 3:30 there, 4 o'clock in the morning in Sri Lanka, and you get up and you join us. So thank you.
You know, when I do a lot of times during the week, during the day, when I have nothing to do, I'll go up to the mountain, the park by me, the mountains, and I take my phone and I walk through there, and I'll do a live on TikTok while I'm doing it, and I'll answer questions. And I went a couple times. One time I went, it was raining a little, and I thought, well, there's a lot of canopy where I walk, so I'm going to go walk anyway. When it was raining, and it was during the day, but it was kind of dark, I tell you, I could hear everything in those woods for some reason. It's like you just pick it up. You're like, oh, there's something over there. There's something over there. There's something over there. And I can hear whispers when it's raining.
Interesting. But you know what, Dave? It just made me think, and I got to thank Spirit for this too. It's the reason why full moons affect us. They affect the tides. We are mostly water. So you can imagine with the extra activity or electricity, if there's a storm, or with water. But you look at the experiments with Dr. Emoto, I think it is, from Japan, and water holds energy, thoughts, words, and emotions.
Have you ever done a healing water experiment?
Yeah.
Where you guys can take a glass of water and talk really great to it for days. Just talk really, and you can give it to somebody who's sick or something. And don't tell them what you've done. Just go, let me get you a glass of water, and have them drink it. And a lot of times, a lot of people will go, wow, I feel better now.
Yes.
No.
Do you want me to play this video?
Yes, let's play it.
I'm going to give you guys a little bit of reference. So with this video, and I'm thinking, oh, cool, maybe I'll have a new little video clip to play tonight, thinking this is the real deal. And I'm thinking, actual real footage of a Bigfoot? Oh, geez, my darn cat. Sorry, guys. Now the dog's coming. Everybody's got to pop in to say hello. Sorry, guys. Anyways, and it says actual real footage of a Bigfoot caught in the wild. The minute it starts to play, I went, are you kidding me? And when you see this, but it's actually funny. So you guys, it's not real. I'm going to ruin it for you. It's not real, but it's funny. Okay, dog, down you go. No, this is not time. This is not time. And Tom Baker says, this is a good chat. Well, thank you. We love to hear that. And that's why Dave and I do this. We love to talk about this. And I'll tell you, even on Monday nights with the Angel Rock, if I have a new guest on, because we don't have guests on this show, because Dave and I love to talk, right, Dave? We talk enough. I always tell my guests, pay attention. I'll be highlighting the comments or whatever. If you see something I didn't highlight, point it out, because I said we have the best audience. You guys are so knowledgeable. You ask the best questions, and you guys are really kind, and you're kind to new people as well. I don't think we could ask for more, could we, Dave?
No, and plus another reason why we don't have guests on, because that guest would constantly be going, will you two shut up so I can get this work?
Okay, so I'm gonna I'll start playing it. It's not that long, and then I'll make it bigger. Hang on. Oh, wow. This is gonna be great. Oh, I saw Bigfoot. I hope you guys can see this. If not, it'll be in the group. This is real. Yeah, you can tell, but can you see what he's doing?
Yeah.
How he's holding his butt off. Hang on.
That's cute.
Oh, now my computer's going to go crazy all of a sudden, guys. Don't mind me. Sorry. Hang on. Okay, stop sharing. Okay, we're good. Yeah. So first second I saw it, I was like, are you kidding me? Everybody's laughing their butt off. It was good for a good laugh. And because I thought, oh, wow, like, is this footage I haven't seen before? The second it was on the screen, I went, it's fake. Why would Canadian Paranormal post a fake video? And then I seen him pull the bag out.
Oh, they did it for fun. Oh, I didn't, I got to tell you before, the spooky thing that happened to me last night.
Oh, yes.
It's not just spooky. So I'm not saying it's anything, but when we're talking about when things get you, I mean, I still don't know what it was, but I'm not thinking too much into it. So I woke up at 4 a.m. and I got up to get a drink of water. Okay. When I got up to get a drink of water, my cat Carmel was he was sleeping on top my nightstand at the end of my bed, and the other 3 were on my bed. I got 4 cats. I know, I'm that cat lady.
I love your babies.
So I had the 3 on there, and I got up to get a drink of water. And after I got a drink of water, I went to sit back down on the edge of my bed, and I must have sat on like Angel's tail. Angel's my white cat. And Angel ran, and he ran to the opposite end of the attic and jumped up on the window on the opposite end of the attic. And then I heard a cat running down my steps. And I looked at my bed, and the cats are still there, and Angel's still there, and Carmel's still there. And that one freaked me out. I actually got up and I turned on all the lights, and I had to go downstairs to see, and there was nothing there. But I don't know if it was a trick that was played because I just woke up, but I swore I've heard my cats run up and down my steps before. And it sounded like one of them, it sounded like Pom Pom. He's like my little chunky monkey. And when he runs down the steps, you could hear him. Yeah. And I thought it was him, and he was on the bed next to me. And I literally just went, and I turned on all the lights, and I was like, I went downstairs.
We have a spirit cat here. We have a black.
It could be like Charlie. It could be. I mean, I wouldn't put it past anybody. It didn't. It frightened me as far as it caught me off guard. But after it was done, and I looked downstairs, I'm like, there's nothing in my house. At first, I thought maybe there's an animal in my house. And it ran down the steps.
Dave, though, you got to explain this. So, like where you live, it's very beautiful. I'm not telling people where you live, but you live with your cats. And you can't tell me, I don't care who you are, especially in the line of work that we're in, that when you hear something that you can't see and you're not expecting.
Oh, I look around.
It's going to freak you out. I don't care.
It's going to. Oh, yeah, it does. I was just telling Lorilei the other day, I found out from my neighbor, the guy who owns a karate studio, and a priest used to own that karate studio he was in. And there's a big cross that they left up that nobody uses anymore. It's left over, and there was something tied to it. But anyway, he was telling me that across the street from my house, there's an empty field full of trees. And he said there used to be a house there. And the guy who it was lit on fire by some guy, an arsonist, and that guy's in prison now. Well, that guy happened to live in my house that he rented from this priest. And he used to try, there's railroad tracks behind my lot. And he tried to he made pipe bombs in this house. And so that guy was here. I don't know what kind of energy he had. And then before I moved in here, there was a nude couple, not a nude, new couple. I know, that's what I thought. Did I say nude? There's a nude couple in my house. No, there's a couple that bought this house. And he was a gamer who apparently got fired and everything else and lost this house. She divorced him. She moved out, and he was the only one in here until I bought the house. And so there was a lot of bad energy from those guys. Now, when I moved in here, it feels great in here. But
yeah, but the land can all, you don't know, like it's the same thing with what happened in my house where I lived. But when you go back even before there were even civilizations, because that's where I was going with this, you live kind of out in the wilderness, not quite, but
I got the big forest right next to me, that foresty
mm-hmm.
thing and all that.
So the land, you don't know, none of us really know, right? Like what happened, like, and the land can hold energy. I believe it can. I really do.
I was not born nude. I was actually born wearing, it was beautiful. No kidding. I'm kidding.
Just as we come in, we go out the same way. Well, not at the moment, but eventually you do go out the same way.
That's good. You come in without clothes, leave. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. So Kelly thought that the video looked like Harry.
Harry from the Harry. That was such a good show.
I don't think I've ever seen it. I've seen clips, but I haven't watched the whole thing.
Have you watched the movie? Did you see the movie?
That's what I meant. I've never seen
the movie is very sad because they make Harry very lovable, and he is. It was one of my favorite movies because they didn't make him mean. Every time I watch Bigfoot videos now, it's all about, oh, Bigfoot tried to kill these campers. Bigfoot tried to okay, fine.
Well, you know what that just made me think of, and I have no idea why, but I used to love this show. Do you guys, if you're old enough to remember, the show called ALF, ALF, and it stood for Alien Life Form. I don't know why that just popped into my head. I used to love that show.
I used to watch it too. But yeah, and he ate cats.
Oh, so Kassoon says, he did. That's right. Well, I didn't like that about him, but he did.
Yeah, I didn't like that at all.
I forgot about that. So Kassoon said, which of you guys live on a Native American burial ground? I might, because where I live in Thunder Bay, and we have in Canada here, I'm right on the shores of Lake Superior. The Hudson's Bay Company from over in the UK and royalty and what have you all have quite a history. And they used to do a lot of trading with the First Nations people, with the voyageurs. We actually have a very beautiful, true to everything with a lot of, like, I don't know why, I'm sure we couldn't investigate out there, but they have a lot of pieces that were taken back from the 1800s when this was truly going on. But they live like a whole reenactment, like all through the whole summer until the snow falls and snow melts, called Old Fort William. And there was also a lot of warring going on. We have a very big First Nations presence, as do most people in North America, depending where you're living. But it was a lot of warring going on between the Ojibwe and the Cree. And we have some legends, including the Sleeping Giant and Kekabeka Falls, one on each side of the city. Apparently, and my partner Del told me this, it wasn't surprising, but we have something called Willamette Canyon that is nowhere near as big as the Grand Canyon, but quite big, that it's been talked about that we were hit with some kind of asteroid or meteor thousands of years ago in this area. So there's a lot of things that went on. And who knows in the forest area where you're living too, David?
Yeah, and I live in, I can't say where because otherwise I'd tell everybody right where I live, but I live next to a military park. There was a battle where I lived a long time ago. So there is a lot of soldiers buried. Literally, I could probably throw a rock and hit one of them. So they're not far from me.
Yeah.
So it was during the Revolutionary War.
So I was just going to add, everybody's saying Kathy and Jennifer. Kathy says, I love Alf. Jennifer, I had an Alf doll. And then Tom Baker says, I was about 6 when Alf was on. Well, I told you guys, I just turned 59 at the middle of August. So we figured out, we did kind of a survey of the people in the chat. We're not all the same age, but we're kind of all in that. I hate the labels, but what are we? Gen X, I think, or something. So Kelly says, I want an Alf doll. So do I. I would love one. And then she says, I want a Harry doll too. And Michelle says, I'm near a creek that had Native American artifacts. And Kassoon goes, wow. I'm actually going to be talking about all of this. Why we're seeing my talk, I can talk about it. I'm not going to say what I'm going to say, but I'm going to talk about why are we seeing pockets of paranormal activity depending on where you live around the world. Giving my theories on that very quickly, but then I'm very much going to be centering about why do I think we see and I'm sharing not just my story, other people's pictures and everything they have sent me from around the city about why are we seeing this? Why do we think what's happening? I'm also going to talk, if I have enough time, I've only got 45 minutes. So I'm going to talk a bit about the sleeping giant. We have one of the world's largest untouched silver mines. And the legend is that anybody that tries to access this will lose their lives. And it's happened. And the Kakabeka Falls, which is called Little Niagara, the north and the south part, rurally in the city, and the sleeping giant are interconnected with the legends. It's quite a fascinating story. So, Julie, sorry, I'm going to go back because I wanted to read Kathy Hanley Little. Or do you want to read it, Dave? I've been talking a lot. Sorry, go ahead.
That's okay. If you have an underground stream under the house, it holds energy. Everything holds energy, basically. I have in my backyard, actually, I did find out I have a huge cement slab in my backyard, and that's why I have plants around it and everything, and I go sit out there. I finally found out why it was there, and that's because a cop used to live here. That's another thing. A cop used to live here. He was a animal handler. He had the he had police dogs, and that's where they had the pen. So the police dogs are on this property, and then next to that, to the left, it looks, actually, if you're upstairs and you look into my backyard, it looks like a grave. It looks like a dug grave, but it's not. It's a well. There's a well there, but it's shaped like a grave. Yeah, and so that's
apparently, if you dig far enough, depending on where you live, you can usually find water.
Yeah, or the other side of the earth.
Tom says, isn't this technology great? All in one room talking, isn't it? You got the whole world at your feet. And Kasoon says about Kathy, like in Fairfield Infirmary. And then Michelle Wilfong says, did anyone else hear that? I'm not quite sure.
I think if what you heard when she was talking before a car went by your window, I don't know if that's what you heard.
It could have been, because you'll have to describe what you heard, Michelle, because my window is open. But we have had EVPs on this show.
Oh, yeah, we have.
Not unusual.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so keep your ears open. Actually, keep your eyes open. You never know. I'm always in a dark room. I'm always waiting for something.
What was that weird one we had? Remember, it was a couple of weeks ago. You could do the sound really good.
Oh, I can't remember. What was the sound? It was like,
hey, or hey.
Yeah, it was weird. It was like I was coming in to say something. I can't remember. We never know.
It's good that you mentioned it, Michelle. So I'm glad that you did. She said,
yeah, Kate, listen, if you guys ever hear something, even if you're not sure, say something. Because sometimes people have heard stuff that we couldn't hear on our end. I only said that because I had just happened to hear that was the first car I heard go by your window today.
And I do have my window open because it's still actually quite warm here. So I know people living further into the south in the United States, especially, it's still quite warm. It usually starts to cool off a bit around this time of year, but knock on wood, I'm in shorts, and I was in like a muscle shirt before. It's quite warm out. So I'm happy about that. Absolutely. There was something I was going to say now. What was it? Oh, craziest EVP. And it's not unusual to get them. I was helping Carrie Lynn when she first joined the network, and I was producing her. And she had the gentleman on who played in one of the horror movies. I forget what it was. He's a paranormal investigator and what have you. I wasn't planning on talking about this, so I know his name, but you think it'll come to me. So anyways, when I'm helping someone produce their show, I don't leave. I'll just stick by, because anything can happen when you're live, right? And I'm sure everybody does that when we're helping other people too. So I had headphones on, and I talk about doing resin all the time. Interestingly enough, I have not poured resin in almost a month. But long story short, I have my headphones in, but I can still see the laptop. And I'm looking down, and all of a sudden it sounds like somebody's, when you're a little kid and you had say chocolate milk or this really delicious drink of some kind, and you want to get every drop up when you're a little kid with a straw. And it sounds like they're slurping it up. And I start hearing this noise, and I'm going, who the heck's doing that on air right now? And I look up, nobody's drinking. And I went, oh my gosh, I think this is an EVP. And it was. It actually started with almost like a growl moan. And it happened right when Carrie Lynn asked her guest, have you ever had an attachment? And that's when it came through. It was crazy. Crazy.
If it does, David, I hope it's on camera. Oh, something. If it does, I hope it's on camera too, so you guys can call the police.
About what?
I said that's little room right here.
Yeah.
That goes under my steps. It's like that. I said I always look back there and I'm waiting for something to walk out of there. Every time I'm sitting here, when my back's to that, I'm always like
mind you, okay, so I used to call in to my friend's show. That's where I've shared them. It's actually pinned to my Facebook profile. I kept it there for people to check it out. So it has the episode. It's got pictures we've released to the public, and it's got 2 of the craziest EVPs. They were unplanned and they were live. They were both Halloween shows. You guys check them out. I always give them a shout out. Jason Bland on Facebook and YouTube Sunday nights. I think it's 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. He has the best guests, great audience, really awesome guy. He helped us a lot in the beginning when we needed help. So I used to go to his show all the time, and I used to call in every week. And I don't know if he still has them on his YouTube channel. You can see in my old house all kinds of crazy stuff going on in the background. But the one EVP in particular from 2017, that was the creepiest, craziest, unplanned live phone call I made into the show. And it called Jason by its name by the end of the EVP. Like, there's no way that was faked. And the guy that's in the background running the, it was a new type of ghost box. He always used to give me a hard time in the chat and tell me, well, I've never had any experiences with anything negative. I don't think anything exists. You watch that guy's face in the background. He's terrified. It was creepy.
Tom was talking about you encountered, are you embodied or you mean disembodied voices? I think you probably mean disembodied voices with the family, but you said it wasn't scary. Those disembodied voices, I mean, if you do a lot of investigations, you're going to come across that a lot. I know Lorilei comes across them now, probably, and I come across them too.
Yeah.
And I will tell you that I'm going to agree with you. They're not always scary, but I'll tell you, they will catch you off guard, especially if you're sleeping and somebody yells your name and you're like, what? It's just like, stop it, or it just frightens you.
Or you hear them whisper behind your shoulder and you're awake and they whisper right in your ear. Or my big thing is getting touched, and it still happens.
I told you about the tap on my shoulder when I left this room. That one that did make me unnervy for a minute, because this room is really, I do all my readings in this room, and it's a very nice room, and it's green, and it's real pretty actually when the lights are on, and I got a closet next to me. There's nothing scary in there. But anyway, when I turn off all the lights here, and I walk to the door in the dark, and I went and I put my hand on the doorknob, and something, I just tapped my shoulder, and I like opened it up really quick, and I was like, and I took a deep breath and I opened the door, because I'm like, well,
that's what people have to realize. So when you live alone, right, and you've got your cats with you, right, and you're not expecting somebody else to be there, is where I'm going with. You live alone,
exactly.
And then somebody pokes you, or you hear something, or remember when in your other place, the piano, the cat played, was it the piano?
Oh my God, that was really, I don't have that thing anymore. I listened to you, I'm like, maybe I'll get, my dad brought over one night, he brought over this, I don't know if it has anything to do with it, but it very well could. My dad called me up and he said, hey, I was at this yard sale and he saw this little Casio piano, and he knows I love little instruments, but he brought it over. I thought it was something different.
You're the sweetest parents.
But anyway, I stuck it under the chair and I didn't think about it forever. And I was sitting in my bedroom, and this is a really old house, and I didn't like the neighborhood or nothing. But anyway, I was sitting in my bedroom in the corner where I always sat, and I could see down the hall to the kitchen, and my cats are playing right there. And all of a sudden, something laughed with my cats. I mean, it was laughed. It was out loud. I heard it. The cats heard it. Everybody heard it. And I was like, no, what was that?
Well, then you had a shadow show up on a podcast you were on that showed up that was caught.
Yeah, I've got a shadow on a podcast. I mean, it comes with the work though, when you're used to that stuff.
No, but it still catches you off guard is where I'm going when you're by yourself and you're not expecting. I have to answer you guys. We're almost out of time. Fastest 2 hours of my week. I swear to God. But Tom, I wanted to add something to your comment. You said we're Belgium. Belgian. Guess what? So am I. And you said it happened on holiday in France. Our dad rented a rural renovated house for 10 days. My dad's mother was from Belgium and used to go over there all the time. It's the reason why I took French in school and stuff. My grandfather probably had 150 first grandchildren. That's what happens when you have 17 kids. But anyways, he had promised any grandchild that learned how to read and write French, because he used to speak an old language called Flemish, I believe, and it's now considered a quote unquote dead language. So even when my grandmother would get letters from the old country from family, it would be in French. So I'd have to go over and translate and stuff. So, going to Europe is sometime. I have not been there, on my bucket list, but it's much older than North America. So a lot of history and a lot of stuff going on and completely different activity. So anyways, he added, the second night at 11, you could hear many slight voices talking over one another in or around the kitchen area. Maybe they had big gatherings there.
Yeah, Kasoon said, so the spirits exist in another dimension. Yes, absolutely. So to whisper or touch you, they have to come down to our, well, yeah, they're not coming down. This is how I would explain it from what I gather. And I know this is
but they could also be earthbound too that are doing this, right?
Well, yeah, that's the word you could use for it. This is from what I've been taught from my near death and everything. So we're in a certain vibration to be here. In order to have a physical reality, you have to be in a lower vibration. Not low as in low bad, just it's a slow vibration. That's why we can touch things, because it's slow. But if you looked at everything really closely, everything's actually vibrating very quickly. When we're not in a human form or a body, our vibration is really fast, so you can see through it. So basically, they're lowering their vibration in order to match ours to hear it, maybe. I guess that would be, or like Lorilei said, for those who believe that a spirit decides that for whatever reason, they don't want to go all the way over, because you have free will when you die, or they might be confused, or they might have an attachment.
Reasons. We only got about 5 minutes left.
Or they also have a physical. If you have a physical attachment to this world, like you don't want to leave somebody, or you're not going to leave. So yeah, I would say you could probably hear that, and that's exactly what we're saying.
So there's many different reasons, and Kasoon, no pressure, but if you come back next week and you remember your question, because Dave and I will probably forget, or ask it in the group if you want, people can put their thoughts in there and we can give you more. We can continue that conversation, because I think that you guys always ask the best questions all night long, but really big ones right towards the end of the show always, right, Dave?
Julie Jean, real quickly, Julie Jean, that's absolutely correct. As far as like a medium or us goes, we meet in the middle.
Do you want to read it?
Yeah. Julie Jean says, I think we meet in the middle. We raise our vibration, they lower theirs, so we meet in the middle. Exactly. The higher your vibration, the easier it is for hear things. I can tell anybody that. That's true. The happier you are, the more open you are to everything around you. But with that being said,
I just was going to say, before you guys don't go anywhere, please hang around, because the second night of the Outer Realm with the amazing Michelle DeRoche and Amelia Pisano is going up. Go ahead, Dave. I wanted to throw that in case somebody clicked off.
No problem. Thanks you guys for listening so much. Please feel free to join our group, The Thing at the Foot of the Bed, with Lorilei Potvin and David Hanzel on Facebook. If you would like to know more about me, you can go to my website, theywhispertome.com. You can also read some of the articles that I have in there that I wrote. And if you want to follow me on TikTok and Instagram, it's at Medium David Hanzel. No slashes, no dots, no numbers. That's what it is. Or you can follow me on my Facebook group, The Spirit Experience, and my YouTube is called The Spirit Experience. And that is it in one Lorilei and I will never, ever, ever, ever private message you to offer you readings or solicit readings. You can only get them through us. That's it.
You're reading my mind because I was just thinking that. Dave, don't forget that part because that's so important. So everybody's saying great show. Thank you. We really appreciate having all of you here. We love it. We love having you here. So thank you. And if you guys ever want to get a hold of me, get a hold of me right now on Facebook.com/The Angel Rock. If you want to book a psychic reading, I do crystal Reiki, energy healing, teaching and mentoring, mediumship, and so on. I am working on my course. It's going to be in the new year. Once I do, I'm going to try and put it all under one domain name. So I wanted to get the paranormal conference out of the way, and then we got the holidays, and because I have the whole course outline ready. It's just about where I'm going to host it. I'd like to have it all in one space for you guys. So that is coming up. So that's how you can get a hold of me. Also, don't forget about the Angel Rock. Father Sean Whittington on our network with his own show Fridays at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here right before Carrie Lynn Shellhorn. But he is coming on the Angel Rock on Monday. And you guys, I noticed a few people had questions about lower vibrational entities, if you will, things like that. This is his work. He's on Eli Roth's League of Exorcists, and he's coming on the show. So you don't want to miss that 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Also, I have 2 groups on Facebook, Paranormal University for all things paranormal, the Angel Rocker Tribe for more things spiritual. Don't forget to join our group, you guys, because when you do, like Dave said, when we get to 200, you guys, we can do this like in the group. We're not going to do it every day, but Dave and I will. We haven't decided how often, but we'd love to hang out with you guys and do this.
Yeah, okay. We'll have fun.
All right. So stay spooky.
Yep, stay spooky, you guys. And we're going to try it one more time to say our closing thing at the same time. So 1, 2, 3. What's at the foot of your bed? We screwed it up.
Did we do it or did we screw it up?
I think we screwed it up.
Oh no!
I do want to listen. We'll have to listen to the end of some of the shows to see if we actually did.
Well, we have a bit of a delay too. I did. If you're still there, Indigo Blue Creations did join us. I just didn't get a chance to say hi to them on Instagram. So thank you so much. We love you all, everybody. We will be back same time, same space next week, and can't wait for it. So stay spooky. See you next. Don't forget Michelle and Amelia. They always got a great show and great guests too coming up right now.